£100 a month, £500 a month, £1,000 a month. Same 10 years, same market. And the gap between them at the end is bigger than almost anyone expects. Put away £1,000 a month and in 10 years you could be sitting on over £200,000. 85 grand of that? You never earned it. The market built it for you while you slept. Just a quick reminder, nothing in this video is financial advice. It's purely for educational purposes, and you should always do your own research before making any financial decisions. Now stick with me, because the most interesting part isn't the final number. It's the moment, somewhere around year 7, where your money quietly flips from working for you to working harder than you. I'll show you exactly when that happens. And honestly, every week I break this stuff down into simple steps. No jargon, no fluff, just the real numbers. If that's your thing, hit subscribe and stick around. Here's what trips most people up. When you start investing, it feels slow, painfully slow. You put in 100, 200 quid, and for a long time your pot is basically just the money you put in. The growth is tiny, and that's exactly where people lose heart and quit. But that early stage isn't the market failing you, it's the setup. In the beginning, your contributions do nearly all the heavy lifting, and that's completely normal. That's the phase everyone has to grind through. The mistake is thinking that slow start is all investing ever is. So let's run the actual figures. 10 years, and I'm using a 10% average annual return. That's roughly the long-run historical average of the US stock market before inflation. It's not guaranteed. Real markets swing up and down hard. And after inflation, your spending power grows a bit slower than the raw number suggests. I'll stay honest about that, but it gives us a clean benchmark to compare. Start with 100 a month. Over 10 years, you put in £12,000 of your own money. You'd end up with around 20,400, so roughly 8.5 grand of pure growth sitting on top. Now bump it to 500 a month. You contribute 60,000 over the decade, and you'd finish with around £102,000. 42,000 of that is growth. And 1,000 a month? You put in 120,000. You end with roughly 205,000. 85 grand of it, growth. Look at that spread. The difference between the 100 a month person and the 1,000 a month person is enormous. 20 grand versus 200 grand. Put that in percentages and it really lands. 500 a month ends up 400% bigger than 100 a month. And 1,000 a month? 900% bigger, a full 10 times the pot. That's a £180,000 gap, and nearly 80,000 of it is growth alone. Same market, same 10 years. The only thing that changed was how much they fed it. But here's the part I genuinely love. Whichever plan you pick, the market hands you the same percentage on top. On all three, the 100, the 500, the 1,000, about 40% of your final pot is money you never earned. The market built it. That percentage doesn't care whether you're rich or skint. It's the same for everyone. What you contribute sets the size of the engine. But here's what actually makes the engine roar. Now, I can already hear it. I can't do 1,000 a month, so what's the point? That's the wrong way to read this. You don't need the biggest contribution number. You need the longest runway. Time is the real asset here. The person putting in 100 a month still turns 12 grand into 20. And here's the key bit. They hit the exact same tipping point at the same time as the 1,000 a month person. The snowball doesn't care how big your contribution is. It tips for everyone at roughly the same moment. Your only job is to still be there when it does. So let me show you that moment. On the 500 a month plan, at the 5-year mark, you're at about 38,000. And most of that is still just your own money. But watch what happens next. Somewhere around year 7, something flips. The interest your pot earns in a single month becomes bigger than the money you put in that month. Read that again. From that point on, the market is adding more to your account every month than you are. Your money is now out earning your own paycheck, quietly in the background while you sleep. That's the tipping point. That's passive income. That's the snowball catching. And once it tips, it doesn't slow down. It accelerates. By year 10 on that 500 plan, the market is dropping around £850 into your account every single month. You're still only putting in 500. That gap keeps widening in your favour month after month. It's why the second 5 years did far more than the first. The first 5 years added under 40 grand, the second 5 added over 60. Your pot grew around 165% in that back half on the exact same contributions. Wildly different results because now compound interest is doing the lifting, not you. It's the exact same principle as an athlete. The first months of training, all effort, no visible reward. Then it compounds, and suddenly the results start to show. And this is why 10 years isn't the finish line. It's roughly where it gets good. The snowball has only just started rolling. Keep that 500 a month going. At 20 years, you're not at double. You're at around 380,000. At 30 years, over 1.1 million. Same monthly amount the whole way. You didn't work harder. You just refused to stop while compounding did the heavy lifting. The good news is that this can make you rich. The bad news is that it happens slowly. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Now look, I know 1,000 a month is a lot. For most people, that's just not realistic, and that's completely fine. But that's exactly why you've got to squeeze every single advantage you can get your hands on. And the biggest one, the one almost nobody should ever turn down, is your workplace pension match. Here's how it works. If you're employed, your employer legally has to put at least 3% of your qualifying earnings into your pension on top of whatever you pay in. But loads of employers go further and match you. You put in 5%, they put in 5%. That is free money. Think about what we just covered. The hardest part of all this is getting money in. And your employer is standing there offering to hand you extra for nothing the moment you contribute. If they match you pound for pound, that's an instant 100% return before the market has done a single thing. You will not find that anywhere else on earth. No investment reliably doubles your money the second you put it in. And here's the beautiful part. That free money snowballs too. It hits the same tipping point, it compounds for decades, all on cash that never came out of your own pocket. So if you're not taking your full employer match, you're leaving a pay rise on the table every single month. The one honest catch. A workplace pension is locked away until you're 57, so it's not for money you'll need sooner. But for long-term retirement money, take the match first every time before anything else. So, what do you do with this today? 3 things, all quick. First, if you're employed, check you're getting your full employer pension match. That's the free money, and it's the one thing to lock in before anything else. Log into your pension, see what your employer will match, and push your contribution up to grab all of it. Second, pick your own number on top and make it automatic. Whether it's 50 quid or 500, set up one standing order into a stocks and shares ISA for the day after payday, so you never see it and never skip it. And third, Don't judge any of it in year 1 or year 2 or even year 3. That's the grind phase where your contributions do all the work and it feels slow. You're not really investing for the first 2 years, you're investing for year 7 where it tips and everything after. So quickly, 100 a month over 10 years is about 20 grand, 500 is 102, 1,000 is 205. Early on, your contributions carry the whole thing, but around year 7, the market starts adding more each month than you do, and from there the snowball out-earns you while you sleep. The amount you put in sets the size, the years you stay in set the outcome, and every free pound you can grab along the way, your employer pension match above all, quietly makes the whole thing bigger for nothing. Compound interest is just progressive overload for your money. Small, boring, repeated deposits that quietly turn into something you can't ignore. The winners aren't the ones who invested the most. They're the ones who didn't stop before the snowball caught. Pick your monthly number and set up that standing order before you close this app. Year 7 will thank you. See you in the next one.